So, first off, a huge congratulations on your new cat. That's amazing. But if you're watching this, you're probably dealing with something pretty stressful. Your new little friend isn't eating. It's a scary moment for sure, but you are in the right place. We're going to walk through exactly what you need to know and what you can do about it.
You've put out their favorite food, you've tried some yummy treats, and nothing. That pit in your stomach you're feeling, it's totally normal, and it means you're already a great, attentive cat parent. So let's take all that worry and turn it into a real, concrete action plan.
Okay, the first thing you absolutely have to understand about cats is that they are masters of disguise. Seriously, they come from this long, ancient line of predators who knew that showing any sign of weakness out in the wild could be a death sentence. And believe me, that instinct is still very, very alive in your living room. This totally reframes your job description, right? You're not just the provider of food and cozy nap spots. You're basically a health detective. Your most important job is to spot those tiny little clues that something's wrong before it blows up into a crisis. And a cat not eating, that is one of the biggest red flags you are ever going to see. This brings us to the single most important rule in this entire guide. If you only remember one thing from all of this, please make it this. There is a very real, totally non-negotiable deadline when it comes to a cat who has stopped eating. 72 hours. That's 3 days. That is the absolute maximum amount of time a cat should go without any food before you must start intervening and get your vet on the phone. And look, this isn't just a friendly suggestion. It's based on a very serious and potentially fatal biological process. And here's the science behind why that 72-hour clock is ticking so loudly. When a cat's body goes into starvation mode, it starts sending huge amounts of fat to the liver to be converted into energy. But a cat's liver just can't handle that massive traffic jam of fat, and it gets overwhelmed really fast. This can lead to liver failure. So the big takeaway here is that acting fast isn't just about making them feel better, it's about preventing a genuine, life-threatening emergency. Okay, now that we understand the stakes, let's shift gears. We've talked about the why, so now let's get into the what. Let's build your at-home emergency first aid kit. These are things you can do right now at home to get some calories into your cat and hopefully kickstart that appetite again. We're going to focus on 2 tools that are just incredibly effective and easy to get your hands on. First, a high-calorie supplement gel. A popular brand is NutriCal. And second, something you can find in any grocery store. Plain old meat baby food. Think of these as your first line of defense.
All right, let's start with the gel. This stuff is basically a concentrated energy bomb in a tube. The easiest way to get it into your cat is to just squeeze a little bit on your finger and dab it right on their gums, or even on their front paw. Their natural instinct to groom or clean their mouth will take over, and they'll just lick it right off. Now, this isn't a meal replacement, but it can give them a really crucial little energy boost.
Now, if your cat's a little more, let's say, resistant, the syringe method gives you a lot more control. You just draw the gel into a syringe, with no needle, of course, and that lets you gently place it into the side of their mouth. This way you know they're getting the calories without a big, stressful fight. It might take a little practice, but it's a fantastic technique to have in your back pocket. Okay, tool number 2, baby food. It's simple, but it really works. But as you can see from this chart, you have to be super careful about which kinds you buy. You're looking for plain chicken or turkey, and you need to read the ingredient list like a hawk. You want it to say just meat and water, or maybe broth. Absolutely no garlic and no onion. Those are actually toxic to cats, so you have to avoid them completely. The secret to making baby food irresistible to a sick cat is smell. See, a cat who isn't feeling well, especially if they have a little cold, can't smell their food very well. And for a cat, if they can't smell it, they're probably not going to eat it. So just warming the food up a tiny bit makes it way more fragrant and appealing. If they turn their nose up at the spoon, you can thin it out with a little water and use that same syringe technique we just talked about. These at-home tools are powerful, they really are, but they are absolutely not a replacement for professional medical advice. It's so important to see your veterinarian as your partner in all of this, your teammate in keeping your cat healthy. And remember, if you've tried all these things and they just aren't working, you have not failed. That's not what this means. It's just a clue. It's information that tells you it's time to escalate and bring in your professional partner, the vet, who has an even bigger toolkit to work with.
One of the first things your vet might give you is a food like this, often called an A/D or recovery diet. You can think of it as a supercharged prescription strength recovery food. It's packed with calories, it's super easy to digest, and unlike baby food, it is 100% nutritionally complete for a cat. It is literally designed for this exact situation.
Okay, so now we need to talk about something that can feel, well, pretty intimidating, but it is often necessary and can literally be a lifesaver. What do you do when a cat just will not eat, no matter what you offer? This is when you have to intervene a little more directly.
Let's be crystal clear about this. Gentle force feeding is a temporary bridge. That's it. It's a way to keep your cat from starving while you and your vet work together to figure out and treat the underlying illness. It is not a long-term solution. If you find yourself needing to do this, safety is everything. The absolute key is to go slow and aim correctly. You're going to put the tip of the syringe into the side pouch of their cheek. You are never, ever aiming straight down their throat. And you give just tiny little bits at a time, giving them a moment to swallow after each little squirt. This is what prevents the food from going down the wrong pipe and into their lungs. And here's your built-in safety check. If your cat coughs, you stop immediately. It means you're going a little too fast, or maybe the angle is off. Just let them calm down, take a breath, both of you, and then you can try again with an even smaller amount and adjust your technique. Now, if you find yourself in this situation for more than just a couple of days, it is definitely time to talk to your vet about a much less stressful and way more effective option. I know a feeding tube might sound scary at first, but honestly, it can be a total game changer for a sick cat's recovery. Just look at this comparison for a second. Force feeding is stressful for you, it's stressful for the cat, it's just plain stressful. A feeding tube, on the other hand, which is a small tube that goes through the side of the neck directly into the esophagus, bypasses all that struggle. Feedings become a calm, quick, totally low-stress process that you can easily do at home. It completely changes the dynamic. It moves the battle from you versus your cat to you and your cat together versus the illness. And this really gets us to the two most important goals. First, a feeding tube guarantees your cat gets the nutrition it needs to prevent that dangerous fatty liver disease. And second, it completely removes that daily battle and stress, which lets both of you just focus on a peaceful recovery. So it's really important to reframe how you think about this. A feeding tube isn't a sign that you failed. It's an incredible support system. It allows your cat's body to stop worrying about the stress of being fed and focus all of its energy on healing. In that sense, it's truly a tool of compassion. Because at the end of the day, that's what this all comes down to, right? Being observant, knowing when to step in, partnering with your vet, and being brave enough to make tough but compassionate choices. You have the information now. You are fully equipped not just to be a cat owner, but to be your cat's best and most powerful health advocate.